Greetings, my fellow airsoft nerds. I am James. This is Bo, who really wants attention. There's a big shift. I love you, Bo. You're the best. There's like some real big drama, not drama, news, I guess you could say, events, undertakings recently that sort of shook the retail world by storm. Unless you are specifically involved in retail, I really don't expect you to know about this. This isn't like any cool, sexy drama. But Specna, right? Specna Arms, the company that a lot of us have been plugging, promoting, buying from, to include myself. The reason, so let's do some history. Years ago, we'll just call this pre-Charlie, and I'll explain why in a minute. What I call the pre-Charlie era of Specna. Specna was one of these companies that was only distributing really primarily through Evike. I don't know if at the time they had retail exclusivity with Evike. I'm just going to assume so, because that's really the only place anyone ever saw these guns. Then they hired a guy named Charlie Suarez. Charlie used to be one of the operations guys for G&G, and Charlie's one of the most underrated OGs in airsoft. He did great things with G&G. He got hired on by Specna, and I am telling you, Charlie is the reason why you saw Specna go from nothing to everywhere on people's shelves. It was 100. Anyone that wants to argue that it wasn't because of Charlie, it was because of the quality of the product. Again, this is the part where I argue with, okay, well, how much of Specna inventory did you have when they were just going through Evike versus when Charlie came on? Because I had none. And then Charlie showed me some stuff and how great it was. And it meant I still got to work with Charlie, who's been just a king for years. So Charlie is the reason almost all of us were carrying Specna products, because he was their account rep. I don't know what his exact term. I'm just going to say is their main U.S. sales rep. Charlie was the guy. And now we get an email the other day, yesterday or this morning or something, I can't remember, saying that Specna, the company, is letting Charlie go, and as of sometime in the end of November, I think it was like the 27th or 28th, they are moving back to Evike. So I'm telling you right now, because of this move, you're not going to see any more Specna products in my store. I'm done with Specna because of this move. I don't want to use Evike. A lot of store owners, a lot of those that are in charge of stores and retail and management and stuff like that, I've done videos on this before. It's not exactly a secret. A lot of companies do not like going through Evike because it's a hassle and we feel like children, basically. Other than like so there's, when you go direct through a company, so like when I go directly through G&G, through Arcturus, through Titan batteries, so on and so forth, through Moss, you get to build this really good relationship that makes your life so much easier. If you've ever had to return a gun that you bought from Evike, you know it's not exactly the easiest process in the world, which is one of the big reasons why so many of us don't like dealing with Evike. When you go dealer direct, I've done videos on this before, you get event support. They will just throw you. So like, bro, my home front event this weekend, Titan threw in a bunch of batteries and chargers, G&G's throwing in guns, Arcturus is throwing in guns, Specna threw in guns, meaning Charlie. When you have an Evike account, it is solely transactional, meaning you buy a product, you receive the product, you sell the product, wash, rinse, repeat. There's unless you're one of these big fields like Tax City, is like they can kind of negotiate their own way, I suppose. Unless you're one of these kind of big, like 2% of the majority fields, if you're just a store in middle America or in Northern California, you don't like dealing with Evike because of what I just mentioned. Kind of one of the other big things is when we deal with Evike, we get no preference in anything. So when a product goes out, when a product sells out, If you've shopped on e-bike, you understand this. Like garter nozzles, garter Kappa nozzles is a big one. The Kappa nozzle everyone wants. It's always sold out. You put in your little email, you get a notification. I get the same notification as every other player. So if they get 100 in and I get a notification at 7 p.m., which is usually when you get these email notifications, if I'm not monitoring my email, or if I don't get an immediate notification, and if I don't have enough money at the time, so like say if it comes out around when payroll and the leases due, you have to fight with the kids. It's like anytime any other product drops, vendors do not get any sort of preference as far as order priority or this, that, and the other. It's really just we get it at usually 2 to 3% above manufacturing cost at a dealer level, and that's it. The guys that work at e-bike are nice, obviously. I'm not trying to turn this into like a whole slam on e-bike, but the point being, in a nutshell, the way that most of us, and by most of us I mean store owners, store managers, those of us in the retail space, see this as pre-Charlie, they didn't really exist. They had no momentum, they had no sex appeal, this, that, and the other. They just had the product. During Charlie, they got everything. Their products got a little bit better. I don't know if that would have been in the works with e-bike or not anyway, but they did drop those, the motors and the proprietary MOSFET, so you can run an 11-volt battery with like some of the core models and some of the edge models and stuff like that. And then Charlie was going to events, shaking hands, meeting and greeting, giving FaceTime, and not only that, making guys like me, little ass store owners, little field owners, actually feel appreciated for the business and establish a legitimate relationship that you can build on. Like, relationship building is huge in sales. It's the networking, the social aspect, that's really big, because if I don't feel appreciated, I'm not going to spend my money. If you don't feel appreciated at work, how hard do you want to work? You're pretty much just going to do enough to get by, right? Just so you don't get fired. But you're going to do the minimum amount required because you do not feel appreciated, is what I'm saying. And e-bike traditionally has failed in comparison to manufacturers, compared to KWA, G&G, Moss, Titan, all these other companies. What e-bike doesn't do to their vendors is make us feel appreciated. We only feel like we are there for a transactional relationship, and then if we don't have it in stock, piss off, good luck. For any of the manufacturers, if you have a direct manufacturer account, you don't feel that way. Maybe you have a better relationship with this company versus this company, okay, whatever, what have you. That sure, that's legitimate. But so anyway, pre-Charlie, during Charlie, Charlie puts in all the work, builds the foundation, builds that company up, and now everyone has awareness of Specna because it's been in everyone's shelves for the last year, 2 years, couple years, something like that. Post-Charlie, what many of us suspect, myself included, is that they are getting rid of Charlie, but hoping to maintain that work, that legwork that he put in, and they're hoping to basically redivert the sales to e-bike. So Charlie puts in all this work and builds up the brand of Specna to something that is reputable, that we enjoy buying, customers like, good quality, good price, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now they've removed Charlie and they want us to buy from e-bike. Stop it. Okay, so let's pause for a second. And this is a personal opinion. I have dealt with a lot of heads of companies that live and operate not in America, right? Which is no big secret. Most of the companies in the industry are Asian, or there's a handful, Europe, some, stuff like that. From talking to those folks, a lot of them fail to understand the American customer. You can track the dollars and like what products do well, and maybe seasons and shopping seasons and stuff like that. But as far as the mindset of the American, a lot of companies where the guys that are making decisions, big decisions, are from other countries that don't understand us. That's where the disconnect comes in. If you think you're going to keep that same success by taking out the reason we were buying from you in the first place, you don't understand how American businessmen work. At least not in the airsoft industry. A lot of us are all sole proprietors, small businesses, which means a lot of us are huge on community relationship building. Hey kids, all this stuff you hear about community and blah, 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 that also exists at a business level. That's a real thing. Why do you think I go all the way to Rhode Island to see my friends? So that's a real thing. So yeah, it's cute that players always talk about community, but then you see like the community of like the sales reps all getting together and like doing shots with each other and stuff like that, and just like talking smack. And dude, it's so cool. It's such a cool vibe. But when you remove the reason that we were giving you our money and tell us to go shop with e-bike, and we don't like shopping with them anyway, why do you think your numbers are going to go down? So my prediction, not really a prediction, if you see less Specna at U.S. fields and stores, I'm telling you, it is more than likely because that owner, that manager, doesn't want to buy from e-bike anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I am no longer going to be selling Specna stuff at my store because Charlie is gone. My rental fleet is going to consist of G&G combat machines and the Arcturus, those sport models, which are still both really quality products. But I just had a Coke. But point being, Specna's done as far as I'm concerned. I've spoken with other guys that manage and own stores. They feel the same way. If you read the email chain that we were involved in, there's a lot of dudes that feel the same way. Shout out to, I know he gets a lot of crap. Big respect to Steve from SS on the Georgia side of things. I know a lot of guys don't like his business moves, but I'm telling you, that's one of the smartest dudes in the game. He really is. That's kind of it. Just kind of catching you up on what's going on. I will see you guys this weekend at my Homefront event in Oroville. Love you guys.